Good morning again, y'all. I'm kind of off this morning. Good morning, y'all. We're going through this book. We are on page 91. Presentation matters. Presentation matters. By the way, whenever you get time, you can give me you can go to Amazon and give us a review on the book whenever you have time. You know what? I'm gonna get the link for y'all. But anyway, if you could give it a 5 star or whatever the most is, and if you want to write something nice, that'd be a blessing. If you could, if you could, if you have some time this weekend, go ahead and give it a review. All that stuff matters. Okay, so we are on page 91. We're in chapter 43. It reads like this. Genesis 41:14 reads, Then Pharaoh sent and called for Joseph, and they hurried and brought him out of the dungeon. And when Joseph shaved himself and changed his clothes, making himself presentable, he came to Pharaoh. Wow. Now, if you don't know the story of Joseph, I got to get you there, okay? So Joseph, uh, he had dreams. His father was Jacob, was Israel, and his mother was different than the other brother's mother. At the time, he was the last child, and his older brothers were jealous of him. And he had dreams that one day his brothers and family would submit to him. So they hated him even more. Well, one day the father says, Go check on your brothers. When they saw him coming, they had evil intent in their eyes and said, Let's kill him. But one of the brothers said, No, let's not kill him. Let's just sell him. Well, either way, they put him in a ditch which he could not get out of, and he had to wrestle with what life would or would not be. Well, the brother came back. They sold him to slavery. They said, why should we kill our brother? Let's just sell him into slavery. That's terrible. Well, anyway, he sold to an Egyptian uh, captain, and he serves in his house, serves well. But the wife had eyes for Joseph because he was an attractive person. Well, the wife tried to seduce him. He says no. Then she says he tried to rape me. Of course, the master of the house was angry, and they threw Joseph in prison. Yeah. While in prison, God elevated him there. And so in prison, there was a baker and a butler who had a dream. And they went to Joseph because they heard he had the gift of interpretation. He interpreted it correctly. And Joseph said before they left prison, Please remember me when you get out. Famous words. Well, one of the people, everything that Joseph said happened. And after that, 7 years, I believe, went by. And the one person that survived forgot about him. And then the dream, King Nebuchadnezzar, the king, had a dream. And he went to his wise men to figure out what the dream was. They couldn't tell him. He says, Well, I'm gonna kill all the wise men because you guys couldn't figure it out. Well, then at that moment, the brother who was locked up says, You know what? I have blown it. There was a guy in prison. His name was Joseph, and he could interpret dreams. So now I've gotten you caught up. So once the king found or heard that there was a person who had the gift of dream interpretation, he called for Joseph. Notice what I read to you, that Joseph shaved his face and changed his clothes. Why? because presentation matters. This was his moment. He understood that this was his opportunity. Now, here's the amazing story. God had Joseph interpreting dreams in the pit and the prison for the palace. Say that again. That's good, Pastor. God had Joseph interpreting dreams, the pit, the prison for the palace. So, what does that mean? God will allow you to go through seasons where you are harnessing, developing, grooming, growing your gift for a set time. Jeremiah tells us 1:5, before the world was formed, I knew you, consecrated you, set you aside with gifts and talents for certain seasons. So, before Joseph was born, God made sure he was a dreamer. Then he allowed him to be put in a prison, a pit, falsely persecuted, so that he could be ready for leadership. Wow. Oftentimes, we don't realize the hell God's allowing us to go through was actually preparation for leadership. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Because, see, if you're going to be a leader, you're going to be criticized. So God allowed him to go through that pruning season so that when he's elevated, he would not be so caught up in the opinion of people. So now he gets the call. As the Phil Collins song says, I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Glory to God. All right, let's get back in. I'm back in the book, page 91. In this verse, we see that before Joseph presented himself to Pharaoh, he shaved his face and changed his clothes. Joseph understood that presentation matters. Now, let me help somebody. Now, I am not mad at you for being unique. But what I want you to understand is if you try to get a certain job, if you're trying to present a certain presentation, how you look matters. I used to have a goatee. Okay? I used to have a goatee. There's nothing wrong with a goatee. But when I read the research, they said those who are clean shaven are considered more trustworthy. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what research states. Okay? You could be clean shaven and nasty, and you could be full of hair and nasty. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the presentation gives a different impression. Notice most military people look a certain way. Why? Because presentation matters. So what you have to understand, if you know that your aspirations are for a certain place, how should you look? Okay, let's say it another way. Can you name a president who had a beard? I haven't seen Biden with a beard or goatee. Trump didn't have a goatee. Obama? No. Clinton? No. Bush 2? No. Bush 1? No. Reagan? No. Jimmy Carter? No. Nixon? No. John F. Kennedy? No. Now, I'm talking about relatively now. I don't think they had the research when Lincoln was here, but I ain't mad at it. Different times. I'm talking about today. Presentation of the last, I don't know, of a recent president. Okay? Now I see y'all. I'm talking about not 200 years ago. I'm talking about in the present. Present presentation. So what are you saying? Oftentimes, that part. Now I don't want to get stuck on that. My point to you is when you are presenting a certain impression, everything matters. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, to my main point, I'm talking to my young brothers and sisters out there. If you say you want a certain level of job, or you have to understand your presentation matters. Think about it. I like Allen Iverson. I like a lot of the athletes. You know Allen Iverson for a while, you know how he dressed when he got drafted? Suit. Why? Presentation matters. You've never seen a person, well, I should say never. You rarely see a person get drafted to the NBA, NFL, who does not look presentable. Why? Because presentation matters. Just trying to help you. So, why are you saying this? Sometimes we are trying to aspire to a certain level, certain job, but you don't match the level. You have to match the level because now you may have the gift and the talents, but if you don't present well, it don't look right. Before Jay-Z was a billionaire, he didn't have that hairdo. And I ain't mad at him, he's rich now. But you can't present a certain way until you get to a certain spot. You can't present because see, once you get to a level where it doesn't matter anymore, it's different. But on your way up, presentation matters. Wow. Okay, I don't want too long. I gotta run. I love y'all. Have a great day. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. And remember this, if you want something different, you have to do something different. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. Remember, change begins with you. I love you. And remember, presentation matters. People buy you first before they buy what you say. Oh, that's good. People buy you first before they buy what you say. Meaning, the number one ingredient in sales is likability. So if you're to be likable, you have to be presentable. And when you're presentable, it gives you a better chance to be likable. But if they don't see something that looks presentable, it makes it harder for you to become likable. Just dropping pearls for you. Well, have a great day. I love you. God bless you. See you when I see you. Peace. Bye-bye.